Hello paper crafters, this is Jane Fires, an affiliate with Fun Stamper's Journey and Spellbinders. And today I'm going to show you how to make this cute little suitcase. This is the one that I've done in a class this year, and it's the one that is going to become a gift card holder. I'm going to make just a little change, but I'll tell you that and show you that as we go along. So this is what we're going to make. If you open it up, you can see it's actually a little box, and a gift card will fit inside of it. The products that I used for this one are our FSJ gift slider die set, and you'll see that in a little bit. I used the Joy out of our snapshot frame set, and I like this because not only does it have joy and it has the little holly leaves and berries, but it has other things, the heart, it has the bat, the leaf, it says fall, boo. There's a lot that you can do with this one. The cardstock that we're going to be using for this is FSJ Fresh Forest, which is our dark green. And then the one I chose was the Cranberry Bliss, because I like the shade of this red. The paper that we used for the front of it comes from our Cozy Prints, and we happen to use the holly berries and leaf one. So let's get started. Okay, to start, what you're going to need is a piece of the Cranberry Bliss, and it measures 8.5 by 6. Then you're going to score it, and you're going to score on all 4 sides at 1 inch in, which I've already done. Then you're also going to score here at 3 3/4 and at 4 3/4. Now I just want to give a shout out to another Fun Stamper's Journey coach, Becky Roberts. She's the one that gave me this idea, and then I did the measurements so that we could use it as a gift card holder. So once you have it all scored, then you need to crease it well. Then what you're going to do is take your scissors and clip in on all of the little lines up to the 1 inch, so that when you're done, your box is going to look like this as you fold it in. Right now on this side, I've already completed it, but what I also do is on all these little ones, I angle cut in. And I do that so when I go to put my box together, it will close nicely, and I just do it at a little bit of an angle. You don't need to take a lot off, but it just helps the closing of it. Okay, so now I have both sides. Now what I do next is I make sure that my little box is going to close the way I want it to. So then I know that this side is going to be my top, and this is going to be my bottom. Now how I do mine is I use the Fun Stamper's Journey craft glue, because I know this is going to hold well. And so I just put some on my corners here. I bring it up, line my sides up, do that on both sides. And I just hold them for a minute or two. Now I use the craft glue because if I find that I'm not quite on as far as being even, I can always change it. But if I've used tape or some other type of adhesive, I don't have that couple seconds that I can do that with. So once I have this side done, and of course I've put my corners in, I'm now going to go to my middle section here. And I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm going to turn this into the bottom that I just glued. And I sort of put my top back. And then I take and I hold it to see. Now this one's not quite in, so I can change it right now. And then I can do my last two. And this, of course, is going to be my top of my little suitcase. And then I just hold it for minute or two so that I know that it's going to hold well. And then my box itself is ready to close. Okay, then for the top, I've already cut a piece of the Fresh Forest and a piece of our decorative paper, Cozy Prints. I've also cut a piece for the front here because this is where my handle, of course, is going to be. I've also cut the handle itself, and this handle is a 1/2 inch wide, and it is, let me check, 4 1/2 inch long, and then I've scored it and I have folded it. So there's my little handle. Now what I do on my little handle is I take a pencil and I find about the center of my very first little fold here. Do that on both sides, and I put a pencil mark. Now you may not have to do that, but that's what I do. Then I take my 1/16 of an inch punch and I punch my hole. And I do that on both sides. All right, now the reason I'm doing it now is because then once I get this on, all right, I'm going to be able to mark where my holes are going to go here. So if I hadn't punched this, I wouldn't be able to do that. So I've got that punched. I'm just going to set it aside for right now. The next thing now that I'm going to do is take my 2 pieces of my decorative paper, and I'm going to put my glue on the back, and on my one where my handle's going to go, I do it all the way around the edges and then sort of in the center, because I know that I want to punch through this. So then I simply take my first piece of decorative paper, put it on my Fresh Forest. It's going to go on top. I'm going to take the piece that's going to go where my handle is, and I'm going to glue it right on where I want it to go. And again, I use the glue because you have just a little bit of time if you want to slide it around to get it right where you want it. Then my top piece, I'll put glue on my Fresh Forest. And I will center it on the top. Okay, I'm going to let those sit and dry for just a second. I'm going to show you, this is our gift card slider here. And what I did, I cut it in green to start with. Then I cut another one using the cranberry because I wanted a red bow. I simply then took my scissors and cut the excess off that I didn't want on the bottom. And you can cut as much off or as little off, however you'd like. And I did the same on the top. And then simply put glue on the back, and I glued it over my green one. You can see the back is all green. So now I have a red bow here, and that's what I wanted for my box. So this now will fit inside. It's a little harder to open because I don't have my handle on. But this will now fit right inside. Then inside with that, I always put a few candies, and I cover it up. That way, like at Christmas when I give them, they've got to look for their gift card. So there's that part done. Now we're going to go and put the handle on. So I'm going to dump out what I put inside for right now. I'm working up here at the top. So now what I'm going to do is decide where I want my handle. And I think right there is where I want it on this side. So what I do again, is I take my pencil and I mark my hole. And of course I can mark it right through my green because I'd already punched my hole. And there it is, right there. So now I'm going to go over to the other side. and do the same thing, mark my hole. Okay, and then I can take my punch and punch my holes. Then what I'm using are some little square brads. And I'll be very honest, I have no earthly idea where I got these because I've had these in my stash for years. I also have bright little green ones. These are the red ones, of course. If I were going to do a red handle, I would, of course, use my green ones. But I'm using the green, so I'm using the red little part here, the little brad. So I'm going to stick it through my green and into my little suitcase. Go to the inside and open it up. Go to the other side, put my brad in, my green handle, and through my little box. And again, open it up. So now, there's my little suitcase made. All I need to do now is to decorate the top of it. As you can tell on this one that I showed you at the beginning, I did the joy. When I finished putting joy on, I did the Journey Glaze all over it, and then I just set it aside to dry. However, this one is the one that I used for Christmas, but because I have birthdays in January, I'm going today do a happy birthday one. And my happy birthday words come from our stamp set, Birthday Candles. And it's this one right here. It also has a die to it. So what I did, obviously, is I printed or stamped off my words, and then on it I did my die cut. So here I have this ready to put on it. So what I'm going to do is use our Journey foam squares and put 2 on. And add it to the top of my box. Now, I want this to show up more. And because I know I'm done now, okay, with it, I can put Journey Glaze on. I don't want to put my Journey Glaze on until I know I'm totally done with my box, because obviously this has to dry. If you touch it, well, you know, you smear it. So I'm going to go over the word birthday very carefully. And this is another reason I like this particular stamp set, because my letters are not quite as small as some of the other ones. And very honest, on the video this may be a little harder to see because glaze on the videos don't always show up real well. But I went over birthday with the Journey Glaze. Once it's dried, it will be real shiny and sparkly. So there's the suitcase. That's how I did them. An easy thing to do, you can go to my website, which is www.janies/ no, not slash, it's hyphen. A dash. I'll get it eventually. www.janies-angelhugs.com, and I will put all the measurements and things on there today so that you can see them. But these are how I did the 2 of them. Easy to do, really simple, quick, and it's a neat way to give a gift card. This will be the last one that I've shown you for the Christmas, because next week I'm taking that week off. And then the following week will be the beginning of January, and we will be back with Valentine things and snow things then. Have a great, blessed Merry Christmas.